That was Rishi Kapoor. Just moments before now, Salman Khan has put out a tweet saying that all those who prayed for me, Shukriya, Mehrbani. Just 5 minutes before now. Let's see if we can fire that up for you. Shukriya, Mehrbani, all those who prayed for me, thank you very much. He's off tomorrow to shoot Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and that's quite unreal because he's just been convicted for 5 years, and instead of having to pay, instead of being punished, it's almost as if life goes on as normal for him. But one person for whom life hasn't been normal at all since he was the victim of a hit-and-run case is Bollywood writer Charudat Acharya. Now, Charudat Acharya was the victim of a hit-and-run case in 1998 when the auto that he was travelling in was hit by a car which was being driven by the daughter of a big Bollywood star. Charudat lost his leg in the accident. Today he took to Facebook to say that Salman Khan was spineless and a coward for running away. His post has gone viral. He says that the car was being driven by the daughter of a film industry bigwig. She didn't bother to stop after hitting him. The auto that he was traveling in turned turtle. His left leg was an unrecognizable mess, he says. The young lady and her friend saw the mess. They took off. My pregnant wife was running around trying to trace the lady. Police finally tracked her down after 90 days. This girl then came to the hospital, came to the home where he was bedridden. She fled, she said, because she was scared of the people on the street. She had no real explanation for why she didn't take him to the hospital. She never got convicted, this girl. Charudat says the accident cost him professionally, financially, emotionally, and psychologically. Charudat Acharya is now joining us on the newsroom from Mumbai. Charudat, we were touched by the post that you put out. It's gone viral. Lots of people reacting with anger over what happened to you. And the first question that came to my mind was, who's the daughter of that Bollywood bigwig that you mentioned who ran over you, didn't bother to stop and didn't get punishment despite what happened?
Oh, okay, see, firstly, this incident happened around 15-16 years back, and I was in an auto rickshaw and there was this car that knocked down my auto. Okay, at that time I didn't know who the lady was, and she came out and I was in a mess. My entire left leg was smashed. It was in really bad shape, and she looked at me. She was with a friend and they sat back in the car and they just took off. It was 2 in the afternoon. There were a few people who came together, and then somebody else, a good Samaritan or whatever you want to call him, he came and helped me, took me to the hospital, and then my life completely changed. I became partially disabled for life. I mean, like all other victims, I'm still facing the consequences of that one rash incident. Now, I don't want to name the person or anything because it was way long back. Nobody would know that person because it happened. I just mentioned it because it was in the context. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. So I'm not here to name that person, or it's not really that big a person as such to name. But that's not the point. The point for me was that I'm seeing this hysteria that's building up where people are talking absurdly. You know, there is this, who's the victim out here? Who's the victim? Accident victims, like people think that, okay, compensation and life goes on. But it is not like that. And as far as drunken driving is concerned, you tell me, if you're going to be tomorrow, you're going to be operated, okay, and your surgeon comes in there drunk, would you lie down on the table? You won't. If you're getting into a flight, if the pilot is drunk, would you take that flight? No. I'm sure you wouldn't. Right?
So why then drive? You also said that drinking and driving is like giving an AK-47 to a chimpanzee. What do you make of the fact that everyone in this instance seems to be making it seem as if Salman Khan is somehow the victim and the real victims of this accident or this hit and run seem completely forgotten? What happened in your instance? The girl ran away?
Yes, the girl ran away, and after that, after 2.5 months, you know, I was young, I was just starting my career, I was just having a baby. It was a difficult time, but nowhere as difficult as the poorest of poor in this country who get ruined, who get smashed and they're finished. And it's sick to see people talking of it as a number or putting a quantum of figure like, okay, so many lakhs have been given or will be given. I mean, what bullshit is this? Have we gone mad? Have we become sick in the head? Somebody drinks and actually, again, I'm saying I'm not talking in specific case about Salman Khan or anybody else or anybody else. I'm saying the approach that our society is taking to this kind of thing. Somebody drinks and drives and goes and knocks off somebody. I mean, that's dangerous. It's not an accident. When you drink and sit on the wheel, it's not an accident. It's callousness.
No, the other thing, Charudat, that you made, and I think that was a very important point, is that even if someone like a Salman Khan is punished for 5 years, even if he does go to prison and isn't given parole, he will still be out after 5 years. His life will be normal. He might be starring in his own biopic, as you say. But the person who's been injured is actually imprisoned for life, such as yourself.
Yeah, I mean, see, everything is relative. It's not that, life goes on, accidents happen. All I'm trying to say is, people are like somebody, I read a tweet or, I read somebody's comment that for 13 years, people have been suffering, or Salman has been suffering, or some other person has been suffering. Arey bhai, he's the guy who knocked the person down. What about the person who was knocked down? He is going to suffer for life. So if somebody gets convicted for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, I mean, the person who has been injured is suffering for his entire life. And this perspective is important. It's very, very important for people to understand that, you are a fan. Okay, even I like Salman Khan movies. He's a great actor. Fine. That's one thing. But this kind of precedence which we are setting, that, so, like when you say somebody does charity, somebody's done so good, so why should he go to jail? This is dangerous. Please try to understand, this is dangerous. And it's extremely unfair, and it's mean on the people who live their entire lives, live compromised lives, I mean, it's extremely sad.
I can feel your anguish. And I empathize with what's happening.
People are celebrating.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to say, that people should be a little more sensitive and be a little sensible in these matters.
No, and you're right that his fans seem to be celebrating as if it's some big Friday release for Salman Khan.
Yeah, see, I can understand love for your fans, but these are two distinct issues. Why aren't people able to understand that there is somebody who died? There is somebody who is maimed for life. Nobody who's tweeting and who's going, chest thumping knows what it means to go through repeated surgeries, to be broke, to have infections, to go through, to see your children, your family suffer. I mean, what are we talking about, yaar?
And it's heartening that you've had the courage to come out on national TV and speak about what happened in your instance, and we feel your pain. Charudat,
there is no courage. You go. I'm telling you, boss, there is no courage. Only thing is, unfortunately, the media, people, everybody thinks that my story is a terrible story. It's not. The terrible stories are those stories which are never getting covered. Those people who sleep on streets, which that Abhijit is calling dogs. I mean, are we gone nuts? Are we gone nuts? Guys, wake up.
You're making an important point, and I hope your voice is heard all across the country, that these are the victims and their plight must not be forgotten, and we can't confuse the convict for the victim. Charudat Acharya, for joining us. Thank you very much.
And the legal
My best
system.
wishes.
Thank you, boss. Thank you.